Good evening, everyone. My name is Ebony Mitchell. Thank you so much for watching. And tonight I will be discussing a broader issue, and that is related to how teachers are taught about cognitive science and brain-based learning. For those of you all who don't know, there has been discussion in past years about whether neuroscience has a place in the classroom. And that is because neuroscience has been used interchangeably with cognitive science, and there is a difference. So before we jump into this video, I would like to define both cognitive science and neuroscience, which is the basis for brain-based learning. So, what is neuroscience? According to Wikipedia.com, neuroscience is a scientific study of the nervous system. Traditionally, neuroscience has been seen as a branch of biology. So when we think of neuroscience, we're actually talking about the physical part of the body, specifically the brain and the nervous system. The nervous system being composed, according to Carey's How We Learn, of neurons that are made up of the nucleus, cell body, axon, and dendrites. And whenever we are receiving information, those dendrites, those neurons begin to fire off. Now let's talk about what is cognitive science. Cognitive science, once again, according to Wikipedia, is an interdisciplinary scientific study of the mind and its processes. It examines what cognition is, what it does, and how it works. So when we think about cognitive science, we're actually talking about not the physical brain, but the mind and the processes it uses when it's receiving information. So that's the difference between the two. So now that we know the difference between the two, I would like to bring up a few points related to how we can address teachers when we are talking about neuroscience and cognitive science, and helping teachers to distinguish between the two. The first one being informing teachers that there is a difference between neuroscience and cognitive science. And of course, I just discussed those definitions and what they mean and how they are different, but actually informing teachers who come to trainings that there is a difference between neuroscience and cognitive science, because some teachers just may be unaware. The second point being careful with the way that we word things to teachers. So in the article that was read, Neuroscience for Educators by Hook and Farah, both John Medina and Carol Dweck have been citing for using words like brain, which automatically makes us think of the physical brain. Well, their research was based more on the mind and the processes, which once again is a difference. So being careful with the way that we word things to teachers to help them understand that there is a difference. Number 3, and although many believe that neuroscience has no place in the classroom, it can be used to inform our decisions as teachers. So for example, if we understand that a student, and this is an example cited from Hook and Farah's Neuroscience for Educators, if we understand that there is a difference between one student's brain structure and another student's brain structure, it can allow us to be more patient with difficult students, because we understand that there is a physical difference between one student's brain and another student's brain. So having the understanding or knowing of how brain structure affects student behavior, student learning, allows teachers to be more patient and more understanding. And lastly, once again, using neuroscience to inform the way that we write our lesson plans. So if we know that we are dealing with a small group of students whose brain structures may be a little bit different than other students, we can create lesson plans that cater to those students who have those brain structures that are a little bit different. So I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. And once again, let's continue to educate teachers, educate educators on the differences between cognitive science, neuroscience, and how both can inform the way that we teach our students in the classroom. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.